This is a series of 100 films about Japanese foods that I've eaten, and this is a film about tuna in all its fine forms. Tuna is a tricky subject. There's concern that Japan is overfishing the bluefin tuna, but that specific fish has an important place in Japanese culture. When we think of tuna, we think of a fish that comes out of a can. But in Japan, it's a New Year's spectacle. At Tokyo's main fish market in Toyosu, a giant bluefin tuna is auctioned off for millions of dollars. And sure, this isn't a realistic price, but every year some rich guy comes in to show how important he is. And what better way than to buy a high-end tuna? Okane. In the English-speaking world, the canned tuna is actually a form of mackerel. But when you go to Japan, tuna gets confusing. You go to a sushi restaurant and there's 3 different kinds of tuna sushi, all different prices. You see, tuna is divided into 3 categories, basically low, medium, and high. The lowest category is called maguro. This is the usual Japanese word for tuna. And maguro is the cheap stuff with very little fat. It doesn't have that much flavor, but it's the normal level of tuna you're going to get in most sushi sets. The next level is chuotoro, which is quite pricey. It's marbled in a more pinkish color, and it is delicious. And then you get to the final level, the otoro. It's nearly white. And at this level, you're getting close to $10 to $15 for a piece of sushi or more. It's often the most expensive thing on a sushi restaurant's menu. Okane. But how much should you pay for amazing fish? One Japanese person told me you should never pay more than $100 a person for sushi. Otherwise, you're paying for something else, like atmosphere or a chef's reputation. Even the otoro tuna, I had an ex-girlfriend who didn't like it. It was too rich for her to eat. And for most people, chuotoro is fine. And what about picking a sushi restaurant? Well, even in Tokyo, the quality of a sushi restaurant can vary as to how fresh their fish is. The older the fish is, the more it loses its flavor, and of course, if it's really old, it starts to smell kind of icky and fishy. Now, this is less of a problem in Japan because the Pacific has less salt than the Atlantic. Even so, if the sushi restaurant menu is mostly about cheap fish, be careful eyeing the expensive tuna. It might be quite old since nobody orders it. This has happened to me, in fact. Being close to the source doesn't help either. There were tons of sushi restaurants inside the old Tsukiji market. That was where the old main fish market was before Toyosu. And I once had a piece of medium fatty tuna that literally tasted like I was eating candy. There are also, though, sushi restaurants just outside the market and just like across the street, and they were terrible. So for all this trouble and hassle and cost, if you had the chance once in your life to try chuotoro, it's definitely worth your money. The word of the day. The word of the day is okane. It means money in Japanese, as in okane ga nai. I don't have any money. Or okane ga aru no? Do you have any money? So if you want to remember this word, feel free to watch this video 10 more times and repeat along with me, or at least that's what I do. Next time. So that's it until next time, when we learn how to eat like a skinny Japanese girl who needs to go out drinking at night. So until then, sayonara.